right, so in this tutorial, we're going to talk about creating your content calendar. So we're not going to go super deep into the nitty gritty of actually creating it, but more so when to post and how much to post and what sort of content to post. We're going to cover testing, we're going to cover measuring your results and actually creating more content that is like that. So what do you think about that, John?
Look, I think it's going to be fun, right? And a lot of this is going to be test and measure. So we'll give a baseline and a starting point. We'll talk about some stuff that we've posted at different times and the experience that we've had as a guide. I think that this is somewhere where ChatGPT can be really amazing and helpful because it can give you a starting point of a content calendar. I think the biggest issue that agents that I've worked with have is they know they should post, but not knowing when to post kind of trips them up. It creates this wall of paralysis where it's like, what happens if I post now? Is it wrong? Is it the wrong time? You know, so ChatGPT can help with that just by going, here's a content calendar for the next 4 weeks, right? You can ask it and it'll spit it out, and that's amazing. And it gives you a starting point. I think that there is no wrong time to post, but there's also no right time to post either, which of course helps with that paralysis analysis. It doesn't solve it. So my advice there is post at a time that's convenient to you and spend 3 months just learning when to post. Post on a whim, right? I'd absolutely advise to post daily, but I can tell you now, like I've posted on a Friday morning at 9 a.m. and that content's gone ballistic. Within 30 minutes, I've already got 1,000 views. Yep. Right? I then posted, so that was at 9 a.m. or 5 to 9 or something on a Friday morning. The following week, I posted at 8:05 and it took days to get 500 views. Yep. Okay. And so, but if you go back 4 weeks, I posted at 10 minutes past 8 and I had 1,000 views in an hour. Yeah. Okay. So there's not a lot of consistency because there's a lot of different things that come into play. What I would strongly suggest, number one, test and measure. Number two, use your hashtags. Okay, hashtags are absolutely going to help. I don't know if we cover that actually later. Do we cover that, Max? Do we go into some hashtags?
Yes, we've actually got a whole course on hashtags.
Love it. Wonderful. So we can cover that then, but definitely use your hashtags to help get that extra exposure and test and measure those as well. But just post. Yeah. Right? Let's Nike this. Just post. Mm-hmm.
Just post it.
Just post it.
Yeah, awesome. So some people think, oh my gosh, like 5 pieces of content a day. How am I going to make 5 pieces of content today? I don't have any time. Sometimes, you might not, 5 pieces of content a day. Let's be real. That's a lot.
That's a lot. It's ridiculous.
That's on the upper end of the spectrum. Some people are doing it though.
Some people are doing, but that's their job. Yeah. Right, and they might have a team around them. If we're talking as a single agent, posting once a day is going to be hard enough. Yep. Okay, particularly for the average person. Most of us don't live our lives through social media. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think aim for once a day to start, number one. Number two, you'll go, that's 7 pieces of content a week. That's a lot. Yep. It is. Start with 1. Yep. Right? Start with 1, nail 1, and then add 2. Yep. And just incrementally grow over time. None of us have to be superstars overnight. Yep. And that's a good thing because none of us are going to be, right? There are very, very, very few people on this planet who have become superstars overnight.
It just doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. And even the ones that we feel publicly, we're like, oh my God, they've come out of nowhere. No, they haven't. We just haven't seen them do the work. Yeah. Okay. And it's the same. You look at people who have got amazing social media profiles in real estate. You look at the Chris Gilmores. You look at the Paul Toniches. These guys are great now and have got a massive following now, but they have spent a long time building it. Oh, yeah. So if you're starting out, go and look at what they did in the beginning. Don't look at what they're doing today. Yeah, yeah. You're not going to be able to replicate that. Right? You've step by stepped all the way up to that. And I know we kind of tangent a little bit there. Getting back to when to post when the urge takes you. Yeah. Try to do it once a day. Yeah. If you get a piece and start out, create that content. So let's say, for example, Max, you and I are here. Yep. And I go, cool, let's take a selfie, Max. So we'll spin this around. Right.
I better see this on Instagram later.
Well, I've just taken that. and we jump straight into Instagram. There we go. It's already there. And hanging out with Mr. Max Hobson.
Yep.
I'm searching for you. Not
Remember to tag people when
Yep.
you're with them.
At the podcast boss.
So see, John has now tagged
Right.
2 people. They're able to reshare that as well. So his content not only goes to his audience, it goes to my audience, and it goes to Gilbert's audience as well.
Yep. So there's the podcast boss studios, talking all things social media and real estate. Okay, so I'm doing this in real time. I actually mistyped the podcast boss, so that's why it's taking me a little bit longer. So now I'm going to add hashtags. Real estate, hashtag real estate, hashtag real estate agent,
Yep.
or agents is actually the better one, because that's the beauty about Instagram. When you put a hashtag, it comes and says there's this many posts, which demonstrates the level of interest
Yep.
in that hashtag. Insider tip there, podcast,
Property.
hashtag podcaster. And for Instagram, Facebook, we want somewhere between about 8 and 15 hashtags.
Yep.
So we'll go property. Now, one of the ones that I love to add is I will add in here Australia,
Yep.
because of course we're creating content for Australia and the world technically, but we'll add that in. I'm going to go hashtag agents library.
Yep.
I don't know if you've got your own, but we'll create a little bit of cred for you.
Yes, definitely.
Right. Hashtag agents library. And then hashtag.
So your business name as well is what you're saying?
Yeah, why not? Like
Yeah.
if you're struggling to find that 8th or 9th or 10th hashtag, chuck in your business name. It also allows you to create a record of everything you've ever posted.
Yep.
Right?
Agreed.
I'm going to put in hashtag workaholic. That one's for my partner, Sian. Shout out to Sian.
Yep.
And then I'm going to add a location. Okay. And we're in Bowen Hills. Now, adding a location on your Instagram posts helps to localize who it's going to and
A big one
share.
for real estate agents.
Okay, so I've taken a little bit longer there. Now, it's now loading. So there's a bit of NFL on my screen at the moment, but it is now loading. And there we
it
go.
is.
Okay, so it happens that quick. I went a little bit slower than what I normally would.
Yep.
Purely because we're demonstrating walking this through. As you get the hang of this, it happens super quick.
Yep.
And you can do things like create text files to have your own hashtags in it, so you can just copy paste and make it nice and easy.
It can be as sporadic as that. You know, you
Yeah.
just pull your phone out, take a video, take a photo, post it. I also like to mix in with scheduling some content as well. So what I'll
Yep.
do is I'll record a podcast like this one. I'll cut it up using Video AI. We've got a video on that, so you'll see
Oh
that
yeah,
soon.
Video AI is
Best thing
best
ever.
tool ever. Look, my partner and I, Sian and I, we've got the Home Plus Life podcast.
Yep.
Okay, we film that, record that at home, and we've got a dodgy little home studio, nothing like this amazing setup here.
Yep.
And we film that, and we carve that up using Video.ai.
Yep.
Now, one of the ways that we create content, so to put it in perspective, Sian and I are across 3 different companies. We have 4 kids. Okay. We work 7 days a week, pretty much. How do we get time to create content? We do it through the use of the podcast and when we go for our walk. So we'll go for a walk for fitness. So that's the 2 main times. We'll film the whole podcast. Sian will then film us and hit me up with questions and that while we're walking. We will upload them into Video.ai and we'll have Video.ai carve it up.
Yep.
So I have hundreds of pieces of content from a handful of episodes. Like the last 5 episodes, I think I've created 120 different pieces of content in minutes per episode.
Yep.
Now, the other way we do it is we set aside 1 day a month to do 4 or 5 episodes on the podcast back to back to back.
Yep.
That's how we create it, because we...
And that's like a quarter of a year's worth of content if you're posting twice a day.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got content that I haven't used yet, right? And we're moving on to the next episode. So I've got more content than what I can use by using this strategy. So you've got 2 types of content. You've got your in the moment impulsive content, like exactly what we just did as a demo just now. Quick, bang, done.
Post it as soon as you take it.
Post it as soon as you take it. Then you've got your planned content. Your planned content, set aside one day a month. Set aside an afternoon a month. Particularly if you're a real estate agent, you don't need a whole day. Okay? Set aside a couple of hours a month and have a plan. Use ChatGPT to create your plan if you really want, or we can help you create your plan.
Yep.
And then create the content in an afternoon. Use tools like Vidyo.ai to then break it up and carve it up. And now suddenly you've got all of this content that you can then schedule in a Facebook, Instagram content planner and scheduler.
Yep.
And you don't have to worry about posting content every single day because you've lined it all up. You just need to worry about that cool moment that creates the impulsive content.
Yep. And, you know, we've been talking a lot about content not working and stuff. Even so, someone goes onto your Instagram profile, they see that you've got like 400 posts and you're talking in podcasts, you've got videos of you in properties, at appraisals, all that stuff. Even if those pieces of content aren't working, they add to your credibility. So people go onto your profile, they'll scroll through, they'll see you talking about market analysis, they'll see you talking about home renovations, they'll see you down at the local footy club. It all adds into your credibility.
The more content you have, the more active you are, the more successful people assume you are.
Yep.
It's insane. But if they've got to scroll through your Instagram feed and they just see content after content, same as Facebook, right? You wouldn't be creating this content if it wasn't working.
Yeah.
So keep creating it because eventually it'll start working anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Look, we could talk about this for hours.
We can.
Let's cut it here. Awesome. Next tutorial will be about going into value adding, entertaining, and inspiring content. So we'll see you there.
Sounds good.